Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on Chatom Motor Radio. I'm your host, Spencer Ross. This week's episode is going to be about a guy that a lot of you have probably never heard of, but I guarantee everyone listening will know the songs that this man has either helped produce or certainly engineer. He is responsible for a lot of popular music dating back to the 1950s up until the 2000s. So this show is going to be about a man named Tom Dowd. Now, Tom was the in-house engineer for Atlantic Records in New York City, and he was literally a genius. He worked on the Manhattan Project when he was still a teenager while at Columbia University. Was studying to become a nuclear physicist, but figured out it was a lot more fun and could make a lot more money working for Atlantic Records, and he got to hang around with some of the greatest musicians of all time and record them. So I'm going to give you a little history lesson on Tom Dowd and let you listen to some of the songs that he helped put together or he engineered. He was an inventor. He invented just amazing things. The 4-track recorder. He was the first one to have the second one to have an 8-track recorder. Les Paul had one in his home, but he built the first 8-track recorder and had it at Atlantic Records Studio in New York. So he is a pioneer in so many different fields and just responsible for so much amazing music and cool little inventions having to do with the recording process. And this was back in the day when he started, where there was one microphone in the room, and you had to space your musicians and your instruments from that microphone, and there was a guy back behind the board literally turning these humongous 3-inch knobs to get the sound right. And he was the best there ever was. That's why Atlantic hired him to be their in-house guy, because he could do it better than anyone. Then, of course, on down the road, he was kind of in what he called the 5 M's. It would have been Manhattan, Memphis, where Stax Record was, Macon, Georgia, where Capricorn was. He was in Miami, which is his own studio at the later part of his life, but back then it was one of the Atlantic studios called Criteria, and or either he was in Muscle Shoals in Alabama. So this first one we're going to get into is going to be by the great Ray Charles. Ray Charles loved working with Tom Dowd because he could hear. He hung around a lot of blind musicians and kind of taught himself how to hear what they hear and what they're looking for. And he was Ray Charles's absolute favorite engineer. That's who he wanted behind the board. And he would even go out on the road when Ray Charles was touring in the 50s and had 4 or 5 new songs. Atlantic would send him out and say, hey, Ray's he's in Memphis or he's in Texas or wherever he is, go record these new songs, and he would go and get it done. So we're going to get into this first one is Ray Charles. The name of the song is called What I'd Say, and this is going to be parts 1 and 2. So sit back and enjoy this. This is the genius Ray Charles right here on Slide 1049.
me wrong, come and love you, daddy, all night long, all right now. Hey, hey, all right. You see the girl with the diamond ring? She knows how to shake that thing, all right now, now, now. Hey, 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 hey. Tell your mama, tell your pa, I'm gonna send you back to Arkansas. Oh, yes, ma'am. You don't do right, don't do right. When you see me in misery, come on, baby, see about me now, yeah. All right, all right. Oh, play it, boy. See me in misery, come on, baby, see about me now, yeah. Hey, hey, all right. See the girl with the red dress on, she can do the birdland all night long, yeah, yeah. What I say? All right. What's that? What's that? One time? All right. One more time. Just one more time. Say that one more time right now. One more time. Say that one more time now. One more time. Say that one more time, yeah. One more time. Say that one more time. Just one more time. Say that one more time, yeah. One more time. Baby, feel so good.
Okay, that was Ray Charles with What I'd Say right here on Sly 104.9. This is Chatham Motor Company Radio. I'm your host, Spencer Ross. We are diving into Tom Dowd and some of the things and the songs and the music he's responsible for. That one was recorded at, of course, Atlantic Studios and in New York City. We're going to stay in New York for this next one. So, of course, he Tom Dowd did a lot of popular music. He got his start actually recording jazz artists. And we're going to go to my favorite jazz album of all time. This is Giant Steps from John Coltrane, and this was a groundbreaking album, and Tom Dowd was in the room for it. And again, the jazz musicians loved him because they could hear their parts on the playback. I mean, he was just a genius at adjusting levels and mic placements. And keep in mind now, this was recorded in 1959, was released in 60. But this was recorded with the technology in 1959, and you can listen to it, and it sounds like it was recorded, 2 weeks ago. Everything is just crystal clear, separation on everything, the instruments, and everything just comes through so perfect. So I want to give you an idea of what you could do with the technology back then, and how much of a genius you have to be to make it work this way. And not to mention the genius that's, it's John Coltrane. So he's no slouch himself. And in fact, on this album, he had Miles Davis. Miles's backing band was the one backing him on this album. So let's get into this. This is going to be John Coltrane from Giant Steps. The name of this song is Naima. So let's take a listen right here on Slide 104.9. All right, that was Naima from John Coltrane. This is Chatham Motor Radio right here on Sly 1049. I'm your host, Spencer Ross. That song is just so beautiful. So we're talking about Tom Dowd today, and I'm going to give you a kind of an idea of how versatile you had to be of an engineer back in these days, or a producer. So we did Ray Charles, what I'd say first. So we go from soul to one of the greatest jazz musicians of all time. And around this would have been late 60s. A band from England strolls into New York. They had just signed with Atlantic, and it was Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker. They were the first, super group. This was Cream, and so they signed with Atlantic. They're going to come to New York and record this album, and of course Tom Dowd's the engineer producer on this, and they put him in the room, and Clapton has said in interviews he was not interested in people like Tom Dowd. None of that stuff made any difference to him. He was just all about the music, and he realized at this first session with Tom Dowd, and pretty much every subsequent session from there on out, he always loved working with Tom Dowd, that this guy could make a difference in how the songs sound, how to put them together. One of my favorite stories from this session is they were having a lot of trouble with this one song. They had the lyrics right, they had the bass line right, the guitar, of course, with Clapton was perfect, and Ginger Baker, who's one of the best drummers of all time, could not get they just couldn't get the beat to quite make it work. And Tom Dowd would stand in the room with the musicians while they were playing and recording and listen. And he would listen, hey, this mic need to be here. He would listen for all different things, but he was well-versed in music and music theory. So he stops them and he goes, he asks Ginger Baker, the drummer, he goes, have you ever heard any Native American music? The Native Americans from here have a certain beat, and it's on the downbeat. It's the boom, 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 boom. And he kind of showed Ginger or told Ginger about this beat, and they go, okay, well, let's try it. And there was born Sunshine of Your Love, and they'd worked on it for hours, couldn't get it right, and Tom Dowd makes one little suggestion, and it's one of the most recognizable drum beats of all time. So let's get into Cream from Disraeli Gears, recorded at Atlantic Studios in New York City. This is Sunshine of Your Love, right here on Sly 1049.
It's getting near dawn, when lights close their tired eyes. I'll soon be with you, my love, give you my dawn surprise. I'll be with you, darling, soon. I'll be with you when the stars start falling. I've been waiting so long to be where I'm going, in the sunshine of your love. I'm with you, my love, the light shining through on you. Yes, I'm with you, my love. It's the morning and just we two. I'll stay with you, darling, now. I'll stay with you till my seas are dried up. I've been waiting so long to be where I'm going, in yes, we do. I'll stay with you, darling, now. I'll stay with you till my seas are dried up. I've been waiting so long. I've been waiting so long. I've been waiting so long to be where I'm going in the sunshine of your love.
All right, that was Sunshine of Your Love from Disraeli Gears. That was Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker, also known as Cream. So one other really cool note about that song, so the day before Tom Dowd recorded that one, started recording that album, he had a jazz quartet. And so it's just, a couple musicians in there with horns and piano and drums and upright bass. And they unload and Cream gets into town and they start loading in their stuff, and he wasn't in the studio, but he walks in and he sees, Eric Clapton has 4 speaker cabinets, 2 heads for his amp, so basically 2 stacks of Marshall amplifiers. Jack Bruce has 2 stacks of Marshall amplifiers. Ginger Baker has 2 sets of drums, and they've got all this stuff. So he walks in and he goes, well, where are the rest of the guys? There was just 3 of them. So that was Cream's idea of they in those days, and we'll get into a little bit later where Clapton kind of downsized a little bit. But man, what an amazing album Disraeli Gears was, and like I said, Tom Dowd had a lot to do with the sound of that thing. So, all right, we're going to step away for just a few minutes. I want to thank everyone again for joining us on this episode of Chatham Motor Radio. Just gonna thank our sponsors real quick. Of course, Chatham Motor Company. Y'all come check us out. We've with all this COVID mess, inventories at all the dealers have been terribly low. So now is a really good time. If you want top dollar for your trade in, we can help you with that. But we're finally getting inventory back in. We've got the brand new designed Tahoe. They are in now, and come check us out at Chatham Motor Company. You can reach us at 1-800-510-1520, or you can visit us online at www.chathammotorcompany.com. And we're going to pay some bills, step away. It's going to be a really quick break, and we'll be right back with Chatham Motor Radio right here on Slide 1. Okay, everyone, welcome back to Chatham Motor Company Radio right here on Slide 149. I'm your host, Spencer Ross. This week we are learning a little bit about Tom Dowd. So we've already done one of the 5 M's. We did Manhattan, and probably did 1 or 2 too long, but man, I couldn't imagine doing a Tom Dowd episode without having Ray Charles and John Coltrane in it. Of course, there's had Cream, and there's going to be some more Eric Clapton coming up, just because they work together so much in some of the greatest rock and roll albums of all time. But this next one, we're going to go to one of the other M's. We're going to go to Memphis. So Stax Records kind of worked in conjunction with Atlantic, and Atlantic distributed a lot of stuff for them and helped them with a lot of stuff. And back in the 60s, there was for weeks they weren't getting any records out of Memphis. So they send they call them, say, hey, what's going on? And well, our recorder's messed up. We can't make it work. We can't record. Nobody knows how to fix it. So Atlantic gets Tom Dowd and said, hey, you've got to get down to Memphis right away. Something's going on in the studio. So he goes down, takes one look at the board, pops it open, turns it upside down, and it's just I think it was a belt had come off of it or had broken. So he calls back, has someone from New York fly it down on an airplane the next day, and pops it back together, goes, okay, we're ready to go. So I thought this would be a cool song to listen to. This is going to be Rufus Thomas, and this was the first song recorded at Stax Records after Tom Dowd fixed the board. And you'll recognize the backing band on this, and it's got Stax had such a distinctive sound. So this is Rufus Thomas with the backing band, Booker T and the MGs. The name of the song is Walking the Dog, right here on Slide 104.9.
Dressed in black, silver buttons all down her back, high-low, tipsy toe. She broke a needle and she can't sew. Walking a dog, guess a walking bird dog. If you don't know how to do it, I'll show you how to walk a dog. Come on, that's my mama for 15 cents. See the elephant jump the fence. He jumped so high, he touched the sky. Never got back till the 4th of July. Walking the dog, just a walking the dog. If you don't know how to do it, I'll show you how to walk the dog. Come on now, come on. Mary, white contrary, tell me, how does your garden grow? You got silver bells and you got cockle shells, pretty maids all in a row, walking the dog, just a walking the dog. If you don't know how to do it, show you how to walk the dog. Come on now, come on. Oh, just a walking. Just a walking. Just a walking. Oh yeah. If you don't know how to do it, I'll show you how to walk the dog. Just a walking. Just a walking.
Okay, that was Rufus Thomas, recorded at Stax Records with Walking the Dog. One kind of cool. We're going to stay in Memphis for one more. So this next one is going to be from one of the all-time great singers, Otis Redding. But, Stax had such a unique sound. You can listen to any of that stuff, recorded at Stax Records back in the mid-'60s. And one is because, it's the same band. It was Booker T and the MGs were the backing band for most of that stuff. Isaac Hayes was the producer for most of it and wrote a lot of those songs. But it still had even though it was the 60s, it still had a older sound, a more vintage sound than the stuff coming out of Motown and the stuff coming out of New York. And the reason was they just had a 2-track recorder and didn't know they didn't know that the 4-track had been invented. And by this time, I think Tom Dowd had even installed an 8-track at Atlantic. But they were just in Memphis having a good time and recording some of the greatest songs of all time. And that's why it sounds the way it sounds. And thank God Tom Dowd got down there and fixed their old 2-track board for them. So let's go to Memphis one more time. This is another one that Tom Dowd was the engineer on. Isaac Hayes produced. This was from the album Otis Blue. This is Otis Redding with I've Been Loving You Too Long, right here on Slide 104.9.
I've been loving you too long to stop now. You were tired and you want to be free. My love is growing stronger as you become a habit to me. Ooh, I'm loving you I don't want to stop now. Oh. With you, my life has been so wonderful. I can't stop now. And your love is growing cold. My love is growing stronger as our affair grows old. I've been loving you oh too long to stop now. Oh. Oh, oh, I've been loving you a little too long. I don't want to stop now. Oh, oh, don't make me stop now. Oh.
That's just the absolute best voice to ever be recorded right there. That was Otis Redding with I've Been Loving You Too Long. This is Chatham Motor Company Radio right here on Slide 104.9. I'm your host, Spencer Ross. So we're going to leave Macon and we're going to go to one of the other M's. We're going to go to Muscle Shoals. So this next track was recorded at Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals, and it was engineered by Tom Dowd. But now Tom was also very, very active in the studio with the musicians, and he would sit with Aretha on the piano and would help her chart things out. He was there with her backup singer, so he was extremely involved in the recording process, not just making sure the levels were right, but also charting this stuff out and arranging it. So I think this is one of the absolute best Aretha Franklin songs ever, and recorded in North Alabama at Muscle Shoals. So let's take a listen to I Never Loved the Man the Way I Love You by Aretha Franklin right here on Slide 104.9.
Keep telling me that you ain't no good. I love you. I can't sleep at night, and I can't eat a bite. I guess I'll never be free since you got your love in me. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. I ain't never loved a man. I ain't never loved a man, baby. Ain't never had a man that hurt me so bad. No, but this is what I'm gonna do about it. I tell you, I'm gonna hold on, baby.
All right, that was Aretha Franklin with I Ain't Never Loved a Man. This is Chatham Motor Company Radio right here on Slide 104.9. Today we're digging into some Tom Dowd stuff and some of the amazing musicians and bands he's worked with over the years. And this next band, it's tough for me to do one of these shows, it seems like, without having a track from this band, but they really, really fit into what we're talking about today. So we went from Muscle Shoals, now we're going to go over to Macon, and they were having trouble at Capricorn with one of the boards or some kind of technical stuff. So Capricorn calls up to Atlantic, said, "Hey, we're having trouble. You got somebody you can send down?" They go, "Absolutely." So they send Tom Dowd down to Capricorn, and he's working on something. And in one of the rehearsal spaces, he hears this band. He goes, "My God, who was that?" And they go, "Oh, well, that's the Brothers." And he goes, "What brothers?" He goes, "Oh, it's, these brothers putting this new band together." So he said, "Were y'all going to record them here?" He goes, "Well, yeah, we were." He goes, "Well, no, stop." He goes, "Get on the phone, get them to Miami right now. I've heard them play. They're ready to record. I want to record them exactly how they sound." So they go in, make the call, and the next day, the Allman Brothers Band shows up at Criteria Studios at 461 Ocean Boulevard in Miami, which was Tom's main studio at this time. And so he gets them in, and he records Idlewild South. This would have been in 1969, and he was just Tom Dowd loved the Allman Brothers. He specifically loved Greg. Dickie was a little bit. He wasn't crazy about Tom Dowd, to start with, because he goes, "Well, who was this guy coming in here, changing the BPM of this song or changing this?" And then once they get to recording these long, drawn-out jazz instrumentals, Tom's actually helping them put it together. And once they figured out, oh, this guy knows as much about music as we do, or maybe even more, maybe we should listen to him. And this is proof that he knew what he was talking about. Of course, so did the brothers. So let's jump into this one. This is maybe my favorite track off this album. So this is going to be the Allman Brothers. The name of the song is "Don't Keep Me Wondering," right here on Slide 104.9.
Tell me how you're gonna act. stronger. Please don't keep me wondering no longer. Oh, please don't keep me wondering no longer. I know, you've never been in love before. Oh, baby.
That was the Allman Brothers Band with Don't Keep Me Wondering. That was off the album Out of Wild South, recorded at Criteria Studios in Miami, Florida, with engineer and producer Tom Dowd. So I played that song really to kind of play this next one and talk a little bit about the relationship that Tom helped put together between Eric Clapton and Duane Allman. So in about, I guess, the middle of 1970, and Out of Wild South was recorded late 69, early 70s, or early 1970, and then about mid-year, Eric Clapton rolls into Criteria and is going to record his new album with his new band, and it was going to be with Derek and the Dominoes. And during the process, well, first, when he first met Tom in New York, he had these stacks of Marshall amps, and this time he rolls in with just a little Fender amplifier, and he switched to a Stratocaster now, so he's completely changed his gear and his tone and his style, and had been hanging out and listening to Delaney and Bonnie and playing with them, and kind of had even changed his voice. Clapton had like a voice. It's like a chameleon can change all different colors. He could always change his voice and he did through the years, to sound like whatever music he was interested in at the time. And for this session, he was really into Delaney and Bonnie, and kind of made his voice sound a lot like Delaney's these next couple albums, actually. And so anyway, he gets into Miami and they're recording, and somehow Duane Allman comes up. And Tom Dowd said, "Well, would you like to meet him?" He said, "Well, of course." He said, "I love Duane Allman," and Tom Dowd asked him how he even knew who he was, because this is in the infancy of the Allman Brothers Band. And Clapton starts playing him a lead section from a song that Duane had recorded with Wilson Pickett when he was in Muscle Shoals. Wilson Pickett did Hey Jude, and Clapton's playing, the lines back to Tom Dowd. So he's like, "Well, look, the brothers are going to be down for a concert in Miami. I'll call them up. We'll go down, introduce you to him." So Tom Dowd gets Clapton in, and they sit like between the divider. So between the front row it was an outdoor concert. So they're in that little section between the gate and the stage, and they're just sitting on the grass. And Duane Allman looks down, and there's Tom Dowd and Eric Clapton, and of course Clapton was mesmerized by that band, and after the show goes and meets everybody and invites them back to the studio. So that's how Tom facilitated this relationship. He introduces Clapton to Duane, and Clapton invites him back, and Duane ended up being the fifth member of Derek and the Dominoes. And in fact, Clapton offered him the job to be the other guitar player in that band and tour. And I guess luckily for the Allman Brothers and for us, Dwayne was just starting that band, so he turned the job down. And Dwayne was essentially unknown, and here's the what's considered the best guitar player on earth just offered you a job to play guitar. So I think that speaks to the confidence that Dwayne had in his band. So they go on to get in, get the sessions. They already had a lot of this stuff already recorded, but Dwayne, I think, ended up recording. He plays on 4 or 5 of these songs, and of course he plays the dueling lead with Clapton on Layla. And I love Layla, but everybody knows Layla. So I'm going to play my favorite song off that album. But before we get to that, and this is going to be the last song of the show today. Before we get to that, I want to thank everyone again for tuning in and listening. And I hope you learned something. And here's the thing: it's really tough to find, and you have to go to eBay and stuff like that. There's a documentary about Tom Dowd called "Tom Dowd in the Language of Music." And it is the absolutely most interesting music documentary I've ever seen. And that's where I got a lot of the facts and the stories in this episode, is because I have watched that thing probably 200 times. It's my favorite documentary of all time. So if you can if you can find it, it's called Tom Dowd in the Language of Music. And thank everybody again for joining in. We will see you next week with another episode of Chatham Motor Company Radio, but I'm going to leave you with my favorite tune off of Layla and other assorted love songs. This is Derek and the Dominoes featuring Dwayne Allman with To Tell the Truth. See you next week.
Ow!